So starting now, I'm recording the meeting, and I'll send it out to anyone who puts in chat that they would like to get a recording of this meeting. And so just put your email address in there so that I can send that out to you after the meeting has concluded here. So inside of the Learning Center, we have the link to the online meeting, we have the instructional videos, and we're going to be adding a third area, which is documents and links that would be helpful for you. One is a photo cropping site called BeFunky. Another is the document that I'm going to go over in a minute. There's numerous documents that we have available for suggesting video topics for your daily videos that a lot of people are producing. We have quite a few experts that are inside of our platform, and they heavily customize our platform to be unique to them and unique to their messaging with regard to articles, videos, workout programs, nutrition programs, recipes, and more. So the document that I want to briefly go over today is a Word document that will be added to that. And if you do put into the notes area of the Zoom meeting, I will send that document to you ahead of time so that you have it right away. So in this document, we're going to put in basically a blank square that says your logo here, your company that you're approaching, or your client logo would go next to it. And then you would simply change the name of this text to match your client. So we've put in the objectives on page 1, the objectives, the primary goal, the secondary goal, and the tertiary goal if they have that. And obviously you're going to change this to match the name of your company, and you're going to do that. So in the original document that you'll find in ours, it'll say your company or your client in parentheses that you can do a find and replace on to replace with the name of the company that you're wanting to change it out for. Just this morning, I've added in a key. We've been using this document for this particular customer, and we're learning a lot as we go along. So trying to keep things on schedule, we're developing a Gantt chart. And so when you're putting this all together, you're going to go in with the people from the corporation, and you're going to decide what needs to be talked about when, what needs to be signed up when you're going to educate people, when you're going to upload people, and all of those types of things you're going to put into a timeline, and then specifically follow that timeline, marking any tasks that were completed during the week in green, marking any upcoming tasks that need to be done in the next week in red, and then anything that you're falling behind on for whatever reason in purple, so that you can, at a very quick glance, look through this document and recognize that, oh, somebody didn't get their piece of this done. We need to follow up with them, help them, whatever it needs to be to get back on schedule. So the second page to that document comes into a table of contents. And you can see we have a little graphic here that marks an item as done. You guys just using Word can go in and just copy and paste that document and put that in, and then erase the other item that has just the checkbox when you complete things. So the concept here is that you're going to update this document through the entire onboarding process, and that could be 2 or 3 weeks of various tasks that people are going to have to do, from getting the email list to uploading people to whatever it might be. So inside this Word document, I built it so that there's a table of contents, and you can actually hold your control key down and click on this. And if I save this as a PDF file, which would be what you would want to send your client so they can't change and modify things and break it, when you save it as a PDF file, all of these navigations in the table of contents change from an arrow to a hand, meaning that you can click on them and it'll take you right to that page. So if I click on onboarding process, it takes me right to that page, whether it's page 5 or 7 or 12, it'll take you right to that area that somebody wants to read or wants to know about. So we've put in here all of what we are being told from our customers is needed, and other corporation experts that have been following us with this system have given us a great amount of input and help to what is needed in onboarding a customer, and then what is needed throughout the year in working with a group. And again, this can be a doctor's office or a corporation or a weight loss group. So in a corporate wellness environment, they typically sign up for a year. They do the blood work test at the beginning in the first month, and then they typically do another blood work test either the first month of the next year or at the end of the year, so that they can see the results the program has accomplished for that particular company. So you can see on these pages, and I'll scroll through this slowly so that you can get a feel for what's on here. So we talk about the onboarding process and options that they need to decide, are they going to do or are they not going to? So we have bi-monthly videos that a lot of people put into the news area, and you can obviously change that to monthly or weekly or bi-weekly or whatever makes sense for that particular client or your facility. And then we have general wellness, nutrition, and fitness as different categories, stress management, medical issues, as various categories that you would potentially want to do videos to talk about. So if you have a medical degree or you're a trainer or a nutritionist, or you're working with a group that has those people in it, you can get 10 to 2-minute to 5-minute videos that you can put into the news area of our site, as well as you can put into the daily videos that I'll talk about a little bit later in this discussion. So these are more than anything ideas where once you understand their population of that corporation, they've done the blood work testing, they've done the online HRA, or they've done strength testing, or all three, you know what the population looks like. Our system will show you what the aggregate scores are and where problem areas are that company should be dealing with, whether it's high blood pressure or cholesterol or obesity or whatever it might be. You can get very specific in attacking those areas. And if I don't get to that after this, please somebody remind me. But I'm going to try and get to the analytics portion of our site so that you can see where you would look at that information and determine what is the topic that you want to put in for month 1, week 1, whatever the case might be. So scrolling down, we like to try and get our clients to sign up with what we call ambassadors. And those are people at each location or each department, depending on how big the company is, that are already interested and passionate about fitness. So they're going to be inside of those departments that can help anyone that might want some help with understanding how the site works. And then we typically will do an ambassador training and train that group so that they have an understanding of how to use more on the management side of the site and how they can manipulate that to be unique to their audience and their issues that their company might be going through. Different types of events like 5Ks and mud runs and all that type of stuff would be areas that you want to talk to them about. Maybe they have a fitness center in their facility, which a lot of companies are starting to add. Another group that's an interesting group is apartment complexes, is becoming a very interesting segment for our platform. A lot of apartments have very nice fitness centers, but they're empty and nobody knows what to do, and it's like a ghost town. And they've spent typically multiple thousands of dollars building them. You can give free samples of the platform to everyone who belongs to an apartment complex, and then some of those people after the free trial would buy. Okay, so moving on, also experts that might be available inside of either your staff or theirs. This particular group actually has 30 ambassadors inside of their group that are certified either nutritionists or, in one case, a doctor, and others that are part of that corporation that we sign up as managers inside of our system to manage their group and their people with pertinent information. Next section is the website setup. And just going back to the very beginning in the table of contents, you can see that when you get to the website setup, I can actually click on that and it takes me right to that page. It becomes very handy for your clients to know that that's how that document works, so they can look at any of these things. So it's a long document and there's a lot of information to fill in, but the goal here, and you can see these marked in red, meaning these are things that need to be done for this week, so that these are all due on the 26th of next week, so 1 week from today, and who that is assigned to inside of their organization or yours, and who's responsible for accomplishing that. Anything that's already completed, you just make black. Anything that was completed last week, I'm recommending that you make that green in the key so that they know, okay, things are progressing. It doesn't necessarily mean that anything needs to do anything on it other than say, okay, great, that got finished and it got finished on time. So again, a recommendation from one of our members to do that, where you could keep track at a glance. I can look through this and go, oh, here's some red documents. Let's make sure we take care of those this week. So going through this rest of the document, so we have a section on website setup, and that's basically getting their website with their branding, their people, and their logos and colors and everything set up as a community inside of your environment. So then the next section is the promotion of this particular, looks like we got a blank page there, so we need to move that one up. So the promotion, setting up the wearables, and so that's all a continuation of setting up the site. So next section is employee data capture. We can set people up by just having their email address, that you can put 200 or 2,000 emails in our system, put that they're going to be members for 12 months and hit send, and it'll send out an email to all of those employees with a link on it where they can actually go and sign up by themselves or on their own into the system. So there's a link to the landing page that all of you guys have seen, and then that allows them to sign up for that 1 year period without having to put in a credit card or anything else, because you'll be billing the company directly. So employee data capture is this particular page. Next section is preparation and engagement, and that's deciding on rewards, putting together things that they might want to do in the future, that they're not going to do right out of the blocks. All that kind of stuff would be done in wherever it is in the timeline. Reporting is important to all of these companies, and again, I'll get to that after I finish getting through this document and talk a little bit more about reporting. But what they want to find out is, what did you guys do inside of that year? Hopefully they've kept track of all of their expenses, all of their claims data for the year with regard to their employees for the previous year. They have all of their initial data of what they have accomplished with regard to their blood work testing or their fitness testing or any other testing that has been done. So they have a milestone marker, and that's dated inside of our system. Here's where you were on this date with your employee population. So recording the data and recording everything that's happening is very, very critical for you getting this client to continue next year. So the whole concept of corporate wellness is you can make a couple dollars per employee per month with our system, and delivering it out to corporations. You can significantly help that corporation. But if a corporation has 5,000 employees and you're making $2 per employee per month, you have $10,000 a month throughout the year, every month, to service that a client and do things like this onboarding document that's going to, so clearly you're going to have some front-loaded expenses in getting a company created, but it obviously pays off with the dollar amounts that you can collect with our platform, with the extensive tools that are available in it. So the next section is additional services offered. This will talk about things like personal training that you offer, nutritional consultation, that you're a health coach and you offer health coaching by phone, All of those types of things, you're going to put in whatever is appropriate for your group and whatever that audience is potentially going to be asking for. And again, all of this document, you're going to customize to be unique to you. We give you a great starting point, but you're going to need to modify it in numerous ways to make it completely unique to how you're delivering the information to that particular company. So then it goes into your monthly activities. And so we have an onboarding that falls into the Gantt chart. And then we have 3 months, or the first quarter, that appear on this page. And you can see there's heavy amount of work in week 1, especially the first month. And then week 4 is essentially analyzing what you accomplished in that month, deciding what type of the challenge is going to be for the next month. Obviously, the first month, you don't have any data yet because you haven't done blood work. So you're going to guess based on your population that they want to do the first month challenge of steps, something easy that's going to help everybody. And so you can do that data any way you want. Our site works with both Fitbit, Garmin, and very soon Hilo watch that we're waiting for an API that we're getting closer to having available. So those 3 different wearables will work and capture all that data into our site. So again, going through this, you can see what we as a company have discovered that people want and what other people have recommended that they need. And then that schedules that out for the first 3 months, and then the next page is the second quarter, the next 3 months, and then so on through the whole year. So literally every month, you're going to be checking off that, yes, all of these things that were in our plan are being checked off and are being loaded and put into the site or handled by somebody every month. But clearly, once you get going, these are pretty easy. This is more analysis, introducing the new challenge for the month each month and doing a drawing for everybody who passed the minimum participations and are getting some type of prizes that are put into the system. And so, again, very complete document, very modifiable because it's just Word. I think everybody probably has at least Word available in their system. And clearly you won't use everything. You'll add some of your own things, but it gives you a tremendous starting point to having a document to follow. So any questions on this document? Any comments on the document? Anything that you guys have noticed offhand that we're missing?
Don, where is that? How do you get to that document?
Right now, it's just a Word document that we just completed. And it will be in the Learning Center as a downloadable document. If you'd like to get this, I'll send it to you.
Thank you.
But again, all of these documents, if anyone wants to get this document, just put in the chat that they'd like to receive the document, and I'll make sure that you get that. Okay, so again, answering your question more completely, it'll be in the Learning Center here as downloadable and helpful links. Downloadable documents and helpful links it's going to be something like that we'll end up calling it. It's going to be a third section in the Learning Center. Okay, so getting back to the site, I want to go through the participation and getting the tracking. So you can see all of the information that's tracked and how it's tracked. And so you can also now cursor back days, so you can see previous days that you've had your steps and how many steps that you've taken. If you're recording your water consumption, which you can see I don't do. I drink a lot of water. So all of that data is being recorded and put in here. You can see I had this on my charger for that night. So I didn't record any sleep that night, and I didn't get much sleep last night. So anyway, so all that document and stuff all that information is recording on the individual person's My Plan page, and all the data is recorded under their profile, under their health risk assessment. Everything that I'm going to show you next will also appear here. And any results that we have will appear and show how those results tested out. Do you have a problem with that area? Are you testing fine on all the areas? And anything that has been identified as a problem area, that individual will automatically start getting articles and videos and help information, including very soon the online coaching courses to help them overcome whatever that issue is that they're dealing with. So everything that I'm going to show you right now will also be on this document page, where it'll show you all of your scores and how you tested for those scores. So going to the management section, I'm going to go into the analytics, which shows you the analytics of what is being put into the system. I'm going to go into the dashboard, and Patrick, I know you're still on the line here. Hopefully you're listening. Is this available on all sites now, but with no data in it?
Well, most sites wouldn't have any data. We can certainly make it available to everybody, but most sites wouldn't have any data.
Right. So let's make it available to people, so that at least if they put in any HRA data or any of the other data that gets into our system, it'll start to show that for them. So what I'm going to show you now is you have the ability to put in multiple corporations. And so when you have data in here of blood work testing, you can go and select that corporation. You can put in any date range that you want to see that data on. And that can be from 3 years ago or 4 years ago when you started working with this client. And then when you hit update, it brings in all of the data that you have. Any test result that you have will show up inside of our system. And so inside of the system, it'll also show up if any negative data appears, it'll show with it being red and bold. And so I can come in here and I can click on the glucose and sugar, and it'll show me over the different test periods of time. Interesting. I'm not sure what happened here where it changed the unidentified timeline, Patrick. I'll have to look at that. But it'll show when the test date was, and then what the measurements were for that specific test date, and then what the specific things were. So this is an aggregate score. And the aggregate score means it's all of your employees combined together and what that data shows up for your company. So if you have a poor area of obesity or cholesterol or whatever it might be, then it'll give you the ability to address that with the client and say, this is an area that we really need to focus on the lunch and learns. We need to add some more articles in. We need to do some videos or something that are addressing cholesterol or obesity or whatever it might be. And so it'll show you the measurement dates of when those test results come in. And then if you click on any of those dates, it'll show you the number of people that have agreed through a HIPAA release form to release their data and where their data points are, of course, only if they've signed the HIPAA release form. So in a lot of the corporate wellness environments, if a client is paying for the blood work testing, it becomes a mandatory part that they sign a HIPAA release, so they can make sure that if they can identify where issues are, that they can help that person with their issues. And I've heard of many different corporations even going to the extent of paying for personal training for or nutritionist help from a key employee that needed some work with regard to their medical condition. And so all of this data then appears, and then the left-hand column is all of the measurement data. It's all of the data that we have a measurement score on. And the right-hand column is the action items, the things that our site does to help improve the left-hand column. So if you click on calories burned, you can see that the average calories burned in the first month, these all shifted over, it looks like, because I believe that 417 was the first month, Patrick. I'll have to take a look at that. Somehow they shifted.
Well, anyway, yeah.
We'll look at it later. But anyway, so you can see the measurement data here on the right-hand side corresponds to what you were actively doing to help the left-hand side. And so no matter what you click on here, it'll give you the measurements of what's happening inside of that corporation to improve the left-hand measurements that may have some poor areas. Any questions on that? Okay. Come on, you guys, you're being way too easy today. If you have questions, now's the right time to ask them. Don't be shy. I know they got a couple of new people on here, but all right, so I'm gonna break for a second here and just ask, now that we've gone through a little bit of this, is there any topics now, we're about halfway through the hour here, is there any topics that somebody, especially you new guys, would like to see and get a walkthrough of how our system works? Anybody? Okay, well, I'll keep going then. So other things that we're in the process of working on, just to give you guys a little bit of a upfront sneak. And by the way, Patrick, I did get approval on doing the coaching videos first in front of the supplement manager.
Okay, excellent.
So one of the projects that we're working on is we're developing out a daily video that, based on any scores that a person would get with regard to their health, if they have any negative cholesterol or whatever it might be, our system already delivers articles and videos unique to that specific person's needs of what they're trying to accomplish. We also have the ability to personalize that, where each individual client can come in and say, I'm interested in women's health issues, anti-aging issues, skincare issues. I'm interested in these activities, hiking, cycling, tennis, and I have issues in my family or with myself that are usually identified through the blood work testing. But if they're not, a client certainly can select them. Like sleep wouldn't be something that would be established in the blood work. So a client could click on sleep and say, hey, I want to get articles on, how to meditate or get into a better state for a sounder sleep or whatever the case might be. So when you check all of those and save it, it then saves all of that information coming into your My Plan page to be unique to only what you're interested in. The real goal that we're trying to accomplish with our platform is taking the millions of pieces of information that there is out there on wellness, whether it's fad diets or what does a carbohydrate, protein, and fat even mean, to how to exercise. Do you exercise in the morning or the evening? There's so many questions that people have, and so many people have different answers. And so what we're trying to do is take and get rid of all the clutter and only bring in the information to this client based on the goals that they select and the interests that they have. And so it becomes a much more refined way of accessing and having a roadmap to succeeding on a very, very complicated topic. When you're dealing with this whole fitness environment, there's articles that come out every single day that are just confusing and more confusing to your individual people. So we try to refine that and only deliver the information that's going to help this client with their specific goal and their specific interests. So based on what I've selected, every time that I come back into my website, you can see I selected golf as one of my issues. So it's giving me a back issue, and all the other interests that I have selected will be coming in here based on my interest and based on my needs as an individual and what I'm trying to accomplish. And none of the other clutter will come in. If somebody wants to go find an article, they can. They can go into their education area. They can look at an article or a video, look up those articles and videos and play them. Or if they have a child that has childhood obesity issue, they can select childhood obesity even though they don't have that issue. So all of this is all completely customized on that individual by individual basis And then, as you guys are aware, can also be further customized to working with a specific company or corporation as well. So any other questions that have come to mind for anyone? All right, so finishing out the video conversation is one of the pieces that we're building right now is this daily video to complement the articles and the videos that are customized for that individual person. Because we know the topics that they are running into and that they have a concern with, we're creating an opportunity that you guys can record videos or various experts that you know or work with, or there will certainly be a library of our experts that put in videos on various topics, is having the capability where you can actually create a daily video sequence, or what we're calling daily coaching, and you can bring in those coaching videos on a daily basis, knowing that an employee is just starting a beginner weight loss program, or they just got their blood work tested and have found out that they're a type 2 diabetic. So what we're doing is we're putting together ideas, and we're very much welcoming ideas from you guys as well. So the first day, you're going to congratulate them. You're going to say, you know, congratulations, taking the first step to a weight loss program. That's the hardest step to take, and you're on your way there, and we're going to help guide you and get you to that better weight level that you're trying to achieve. And then you can put in different videos, and these videos can talk about physical aspects of a weight loss program. They can talk about nutrition aspects. They can talk about how to order healthy meals in a restaurant, how to shop at a grocery store, that because they're sore in the first week, that doesn't last. It does go away after a couple more weeks of working out or a couple more days of working out. So you can talk to them about the physical, the nutritional, but also the emotional issues that they're going through on a timeline, because you know exactly when they've started that program, or our platform knows that, and you would have a video sequence available on beginner weight loss. So it'll trigger the client to say, we have these 3 videos or 1 video that you might be interested in based on the assessment scores. And then from that, it'll give them the opportunity to select a start date. And when that start date happens, they're going to want to log in now every day to their phone to watch that 2-minute or 4-minute or 5-minute video on what their issue is. So you can have one for beginner weight loss. You can have one for advanced sports performance. You can have one for type 2 diabetes, and what does that mean? All of these things that are being addressed by you guys as companies, you can put videos in here. And again, we will have some that we do at a corporate level, but there's been a tremendous amount of interest from various doctors and various groups on what is put into this, that you guys want to put in your own custom videos with you doing the conversation and the talking and talking to the audience on whatever their topic of interest is. Any questions on those? That makes sense to everyone? And I'm getting a couple of questions coming in on the chat. You're welcome to voice those questions if when you would like to do that. So the question that I had is this Hilo watch that we're working on getting the API from their corporate. It has the capability of doing a lot of the typical measurements like steps and water consumption and you know, all that type of information, but it does quite a bit more. Like it's going to be able to test your glucose levels without sticking your finger and drawing blood to do that. Interesting how they do it. Apparently there's a beam of light that goes into your wrist and it ricochets back and forth inside your vein to determine how much glucose level that's in your blood. And I don't know the obvious very specific details, but apparently it's been tested and patent pending to be launched with their wrist wearables. And so the answer to your question is all of this is going to be available on your platform. And any data that's going to be captured by Hilo or Fitbit or Garmin will automatically populate the My Plan page for each of the individual people. So everything will automatically update from the phone into our platform as soon as it's synced from the wearable device, typically to a phone is how Fitbit and Garmin do it. As soon as it's synced, it'll show up on our platform as soon as you log in. So it does give you all the information that's being tracked coming into our platform so that they have one place that they can go and see everything that's happening in their world of wellness. That answer your question, I hope? So this is how the Fitbit comes in, along with showing the latest badge that Fitbit is earned. And so the way that our system works is it shows your latest badge in the last week or your greatest badge. We're going to create the capability that when you go from day to day, it'll actually show you what badge you may have earned, the best badge that you've earned on each day. So you can see here, I work too much some days, but other days I get quite a bit of exercise, like that day. Lots of exercise that day. But again, this tracks with the individual person and puts all the information into their system. That's a private system. Everything on this My Page is completely unique to this one client. What their goals are, what their needs are, what their interests are all put into this system unique to them. It is private. If they have not signed a HIPAA release form and somebody's joining your system, there's no way that you can access any of that data because of the HIPAA compliance. So if they do want to have a private page on your site, they can sign up for your site and pay whatever the monthly fee is that you guys are asking for in each of your locations, and they can sign up and get this. And obviously you would make money from each of those individuals that would be signing up. All right, so we're about 3/4 into the hour. You guys haven't been very vocal in this particular day, but does by chance, is there any questions that I have created through the discussion today that anyone has? Okay, and I know there's a couple of people in from the LifeLog group. We will be having a meeting 30 minutes prior to the normal meeting tonight. So if you would be interested in rejoining, just join that same meeting link that you always join 30 minutes earlier, and we'll be going through that, some of the basics. And in that particular meeting, we'll be going through a lot more of the basic data, where today we were focusing a lot more on corporate wellness, which may or may not be as big of an interest for your specific group. But today or tonight, we'll be going through a lot more general overview of the platform, and you can obviously ask any questions that might be related specifically to LifeLog. Any questions from anybody? Okay. Well, we go ahead and close this meeting down a little early then. And if you guys do have any questions that come up, you obviously know that these meetings happen every Tuesday and Thursday. The LifeLog people will be having 2 meetings. We're going to skip a week because I'll be out of town, and then we'll have a 3rd meeting coming in after that as well. So I'll make sure that I get any information in. If you do come up with any questions that you can join the meeting tonight, that would be great as well. And we'll make sure that we get any of those questions answered. Thank you very much for your guys' time. And we'll speak with you either on Thursday this week or Tuesday night for the LifeLog group. Talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.